What's good? This is Ashe Moró. We're back at the Life Rhythm interview series. We're here again with Rees RP. We're actually at the compound. We're going to talk a little bit about a music video that we shot here. Larger production, collaboration. It turned out really great. One of the things that I want to talk about is the aspect that we did collaborate and it was well marketed. So first of all, I want to introduce Rees RP and kind of give him a chance to tell us a little more about him.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's Rees RP from Detroit, Michigan. Y'all already know the vibes. King of responsibility. We ain't gonna get too in depth about it, but we here to talk about Hold On Me and the music video that we created here at the compound in Detroit on the west side. And we're gonna get into the vibes. Let's do it.
Sweet. So I want to let you first, just to give a little context of how long you've been making music.
It's been about four and a half years I've been making music, but I didn't start taking it serious until about a year and a half ago, 2 years.
Okay, and was it something that you kind of started in your home as well, or was it something that like it kind of just triggered and all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna go all out?
Well, to be honest, when I was a kid, I was like 14, I started a little group with my cousins. We were rapping and stuff, but then that broke up for about a year and a half or two. And then it was senior year, I graduated, and that 4th of July, I threw a party the same day. And there was so many people there, I'm like, wow, you gotta do something with this type of status you got, or this type of popularity, or whatever the case may be. So I decided to just go back to making music and just do it by myself.
Awesome. And I know your recent Hold On Me was a part of Honor. Mm-hmm. Was that your first album, or was that, you know, a couple later?
Honor was like my 6th album, like 5th or 6th album, but it was the only album, I'm not gonna say that, it was like this 3rd album that I took serious, that I pushed and promoted to the type of expectation that any artist would have.
Yeah, so 4 years, you're able to put together 6 albums.
Yep.
Which is more than one per year.
Yeah.
I think that like speaks a lot, because consistency is one of the biggest things I feel that artists don't necessarily like keep up with. And just hearing that you put together 6 is insane. Vitality Visions was telling me about Hold On Me too. He was mentioning how it was one of the last songs you actually recorded.
Yeah, it was one of the last songs we recorded. And I mean, I've recently recorded another song, but that was definitely the last song since I've seen you guys. And it's actually speaking on right now, or not necessarily right now, but the past few months of my life. So it's actually a recent story too. If you can pay attention to the context of the lyrics, then you'll get an understanding of what I've been going through recently.
That's awesome. And I'm curious to know why you decided to take Hold On Me and really invest in a higher production value music video.
I felt like Hold On Me was a breaking point, like a checkpoint type of song for me in my life, because the type of idea behind the song is someone that was holding me back. Mm-hmm. So by me creating that song and releasing that hold that's been on me the past 4 years or however long it's been, it's a transformation point. Like it's just gonna be different from now on.
That's awesome. And how long were you shooting with Vitality Visions?
It's been about a little over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been about a little over a year.
So you, I know, just to give a little background, he actually approached me and was just kind of frustrated with the lack of like resources and ability to really bring his vision to life. And one of the things that I admire about you too is like giving him that chance, like to come in and like giving him the budget that he needs to like put something together that really brings everyone's vision to life at the end. I mean, there's even a clip behind the scenes at the end of the production of like how everyone was happy. Like it went flawless, and that usually doesn't happen with productions, with video productions. And I think it's really great that you were, you gave him that chance to kind of like really go all out on this, and I think it showed. So what does like having that team mean to you?
Other than my career, then I don't really know, because that is me. That's what they get to see. That's what everybody in the world gets to see. I know who I am. Everybody that's around me knows, but nobody else knows without that team. So that team means everything. It means just as much as Rees RP. So
That's awesome. And just going into this video and how everyone was happy, you had a really good executable plan when it came to pushing it to different platforms, say Cheese. You were able to get eyes from other states and really utilize that production to the fullest in your marketing. And I just want to get your input into like what was going through your mind and your approach to that.
well, to be quite honest, it's not something that is instilled in me yet. That was actually new, very new to me too. I ain't never really pushed anything like that, and I honestly don't think I pushed it as hard as I could have. But the fact that I'm doing it shows me just as much what I can do. But for those who don't know how to start or where to start, I would just start with posting every single day. If you don't have a budget to pay a big blog or a big platform to post it for you, post it every day. Go on Vistaprint, create stickers, post it around your city. Do every single show in your city and do those same songs that you're pushing every time. Don't never do anything else. Just push what you're pushing when you're pushing it. And that's my only advice.
So you took those songs and performing became a pretty big part of that push too.
Yeah, because I have plenty of songs I can perform. Plenty of songs that I would like to perform, but I know what I'm pushing. So every show I do, you're gonna hear Hold On Me, you're gonna hear Responsibility, and that's for sure. Anything else is just it's up in the air.
So what is next for Rees RP?
That's a crazy question. That's a crazy question. What's next for Rees RP is in God's hands. Cause honestly, I could tell you where I feel like it's going, but I don't think that I'm giving myself enough credit. So I don't want to downgrade myself on camera, but I'll give an idea. I feel like within this year. We'll be doing a few features with big artists, doing big shows with big artists, getting booked in different states, and definitely on tour. And I'll just start there.
What's kind of the game plan in terms of like what does your kind of day-to-day look like in terms of like being able to create that consistency? Do you find it difficult in terms of putting too much pressure on yourself sometimes as well?
I feel like I put too much pressure on my peers. I put more pressure on my peers because it's like driving. If I'm steering and I'm looking at my phone, everyone can look at me and feel in danger. But of course, if I'm driving and I know that I'm driving, I know where I'm at. So it's not really too much danger, but everyone's eyes, it is. So I put so much pressure on my peers because I want them to see where I'm going the same way I see it. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be more understanding on why I'm putting that pressure there, because I don't want it to come out the blue.
Right.
And seem like it's a switch up.
So you put a lot of time on like the vision and ensuring that the vision is clear, so that people know where everyone's going.
Exactly.
And you probably push them too, as a result, to do better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that way everyone on the team is leveling up.
Exactly. And that's the goal. That's the goal of it all. Everyone to get where they're going. It's not just about Rees RP, because there's other people behind the scenes, managers, people that have been here since day one. So the goal is to get everyone where we need to be or where we want to be, and then go further. And that's it. I mean, it's not really necessarily something. It's not. I don't have a specific goal that I want to reach. I don't really see a ceiling to what we're doing here. It really can go as far as however we take it.
How have you gone about finding these people that really want to basically go the distance with you?
It's not necessarily that I find them. It's more so they find me. I don't know how it happens, but it's more so I wake up and it's a person that I'm seeing that's been there and still there, and I'm like, that's different compared to, the other experiences I've had with dealing with people. So once I notice that and I pay attention to it, I don't say anything. I just know who they are. Like, not necessarily know who they are, but I know their place in my life.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you make an effort to do things to ensure that they stay around, or is it just more so you're just so focused on your direction that it creates a comfort?
It's more so about. It's not actually about music at all, honestly. It's more personal with me. Mm-hmm. It's not. I honestly don't care about how far I get. Like, I like my music for my music, and I just want people to hear it. Mm-hmm. But as it's happening, of course, like I'll be okay with it, and I'll embrace what's going on. But that's not the drive. It's more so just the personal idea of dealing with another human being who's also dealing with herself. And I feel like I'm capable enough to understand where other people need me to, so I just try to push that, vice versa, to the people that I treat like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I'm curious to hear from you on maybe some advice to other artists in how to kind of create the thing that you've created, of ensuring that you have a clear vision and attracting the right people, because that's what it really sounds like has happened, and what I've heard from other artists too that are successful and kind of have their teams, is they attract them.
I mean, my initial fan base, I wouldn't even really call it a fan base, but my initial group of people that actually genuinely like my music came from performances. And that's just how it came. It didn't come from me posting every day and getting posted by Say Cheese or nothing like that. It came from me performing and being in their face. Once I was in their face, then I took it online. I took it to a live app that I stream on a daily basis. And when I'm on live, all I'm playing is my music. Yep. So all they can do really is ask, whose is this? Who made this? Whose song is this? And from there on, I gained a bigger fan base. Since I've been on this app, I've gained a huge fan base.
Yeah, it really is that personal touch, that personal interaction, that connection to, your audience, because like that's where they can actually feel your emotion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're in the right environment too, where they're expecting to like feel something, and there's other people around, and there's lights and things like that. You don't get as much connection in the car, listening to the car, or like listening at home. So I mean, performance has been like a huge theme in a lot of these talks when it comes to talking to other artists, because that's where you really connect. And in the day of social media, like it's very difficult to leave your Instagram feed and go on stage and put yourself out there. Do you have any advice or anything that you do to prepare for performing, or to improve on performing?
Well, my routine for performances change every show. it started off with butterflies and controlling my butterflies and my nerves, to figuring out if I was being driven by a certain type of influence, alcohol, so to speak, to perform better, to realizing that it's not that, and understanding that it's more so how I'm feeling. It's not necessarily what I'm doing, it's how I'm feeling. I have to perform the correct type of song that fits how I'm feeling for me to perform it correctly. If I'm then had a horrible day and I'm trying to turn up on stage, it's just not gonna look right. Even if I turn up, it won't look right because people have seen me turn up. So that's where I'm basically at with it right now, more so just being more flexible with myself and not being so restricted on my shows and performances. Because I try to perform songs that people know and can sing along to just to do it. But I don't have to do that. If I have a song that fits my mood and I perform it with that mood, that's gonna stick. And that's something I've been realizing.
Yeah, and you have a variety of moods too in your music. So does picking to your mood help with warming up almost? Like you pick a song like in your mood, and then once you perform that, you're a little like lighter and you're like, oh, maybe I can get into like that hype song.
Actually, that's a great question because, yeah, it is the first song. The first song really matters a lot. After that's done, you really can perform whatever you like, as long as you're in the zone. But you just gotta know how to get in your zone and not, because what works for me might not work for anybody else.
Right.
But it's just more so about finding yourself and figuring out who you are as a person, and then taking that person and being that person on stage. Once you can do that, you don't have to worry about doing anything. You're just gonna do it. You'll automatically do it.
What's the experience been performing in Detroit?
It's been different. I mean, at first it was nerve-wracking because it's not necessarily the sound you'll hear all the time. But after 20 times of hearing, oh, I don't hear that, that's crazy. Like, you start to build a confidence. But it can backfire if you take a break, or if you're not as consistent. If I'm not, like, say I don't do a show in 2 weeks, I'll forget those compliments 2 weeks ago, and I'll go and I'll be nervous. I'll be like, should I do responsibility here? They all got a different vibe, and they all turning up with it. But in reality, once I go do that, it's gonna be it's just gonna be a different feel. Just be you at all times. Don't try to be like everybody you see, because it's not gonna work the same way. And I had to learn that way.
So it's a different kind of reception in terms of, do you feel like it's more like turn up type of crowds in the more of the performances that you do in Detroit?
I feel like it's looked at as a turn up type of crowd, but it's really a diverse crowd.
So it's hard to kind of like meet everyone where they're at.
Yeah, it's hard to see it. And then the people that are in the crowd feel the same way. So once they hear something that they really like, but they look around and they see everyone else scared to show how much they really like it, they won't show it. It just takes one person. Once that one person releases and shows like, oh, they messing with this song, everyone will. Like, they'll just let it go. They'll let it. But I just learned to just see people for who they are. Like, even if somebody's sitting there and just staring at me in my eyes, like wow, you really talking. That's gonna hit me. They don't have to be sitting there turning up and clapping and yelling and nothing.
Right. At that point, you know you've got their attention.
I know I touched them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. What do you think we can do as a whole community in terms of artists, in terms of producers, videographers? Like, what are some of the things that you see that we can improve in Detroit?
In reality, I feel like if a group of people just came together and created major labels, for one, in the city of Detroit, that will cause attraction. more shows, concert shows, not showcases, but actual concerts with big artists, all of that will cause more attraction to the city, which would bring more opportunities to everyone. So that's really what it is. It's not necessarily about the person from the city who blew up and now he's gone from the city. He can't put everybody on. He can't put the city on. It doesn't work like that. But the city can put the city on. We can come together, all together, where we at, and create something and make it big. And that's what everyone else is doing. So that's basically it.
Just real quick, what's the difference between a showcase and a concert?
Well, a showcase, most of the time there's a prize. There's 3 winners most of the time, 2 rounds most of the times, and there's a restricted amount of time to perform, which is most of the time 1 song or 2 songs. Concerts are basically headliners. There's a specific amount of headliners that perform for a specific amount of time. There's a few openers that open for the headliners. And everyone that's at the concert knows who the openers and headliners are, and they came to the concert to see them. Most of the time you go to a showcase, you only know the one person that you're coming for. You don't know anyone else that's performing. So it's kind of hard to keep their attention.
Why do you think showcases are more popular than concerts?
They're more doable. It's easy to do. It's easy to get $500 and say, I got a $500 cash prize, post it on Instagram and have just anyone pull up and perform. You don't know the talent is good enough to even perform on that platform or anything. You're just winging it and making money at the door and hoping to make a profit. And that's basically a showcase. Yeah, it's just money.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I think it was a great conversation, a lot of good information. I'd like to give you a chance to kind of plug you in as well, and just let people know where they can find you on any platform.
Yeah, you guys can find me any and everywhere at Rees RP Music. That's Rees RP Music on all platforms and all streaming services. Y'all come check me out, man. It's really about to go up.
Awesome. And I'm Ashe Moró. You can find me at ashe.moro on Instagram. Trying to bump up the TikTok as well, so go ahead, check me out on there. This will be on YouTube. Go check out the other interviews that we've done. And we're gonna wrap it up here, and thanks for joining us.